So we have a lot of really fun things. Do they all match and go together? No, that's the fun of it.
I like pairing primary colors together and sort of manipulating.
This one is one of my 3 favorites.
Oh, thanks. I think it's probably in my top 3 too. This was, again, the add-on jacket for January for Grace. This is the dress from Weekend Market for Ellowyne and Neema, and I was absolutely shocked when I went to go put it on and it fit Grace.
Hello friends, and welcome to the video that is airing right before our head to toe sale. We have been very excited, very busy here at the doll shop getting ready. This was originally going to be a wig sale, but we have a lot of wonderful shoes and hats and little accessories for the heads and the toes of our doll world, and we put it all together to make our head to toe sale. So we have a lot of really fun things. Do they all match and go together? No, that's the fun of it, because Christopher has pulled together tons of really fun looks. He has been working for days doing this. So worth it, because some of these looks are going to make you laugh and scream, and you're going to be so inspired. I know you are, because every time I see one of these looks, I think, why didn't I think of that? But that's why we have a creative fashion director here at Virtual Doll Convention, and he's gonna get us started. So one thing I want to let you know is that Christopher lost his voice and then it came back, but it's very deep. Don't let that alarm you at all. He is feeling fine, but you know what it's like when you lose your voice, or sometimes it changes. This has never happened in the 2 years that he's been here, but we're going with it because we got to do our doll fashion. So come on in, Christopher. Hi, Christopher.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to try not to make you laugh.
I know. I am sorry in advance that I sound crazy. I have been a little under the weather, so sorry that my job today is just talking to you and that I sound like this, but I hope it's not super distracting. Try to, maybe if you can, enjoy the pieces and not have what is narrating them be too distracting. So I'm going to be nursing with some tea today and to show you what we've been working on for head to toe and the accessories that includes and ways to wear them and how to incorporate this into an already existing wardrobe that you have cultivated over the last year or so. So we're going to show you kind of what we've been up to.
You did a wonderful job putting together a lot of these looks, and I know you had fun doing it.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, a lot of these, what I love is, since we're not putting out clothing pieces, these are all pieces from the archive.
Yeah, so these are things that are compiled of previous mix and match sale items, as well as box pieces or subscription pieces or even toner pieces that you over the years may or may not have accrued, and maybe ways to, you know, dust them off and play with them in a new way. So I'm not sure if like a linear explanation is more helpful. Maybe we just start like left to right. We'll actually start with one that I don't love very much, but it's a very daytime accessible, easy peasy, breezy sort of outfit. If you want something just daily and easy, this is Grace modeling a bunch of pre-existing pieces with some new tights and some new shoes. These are fitted for both Ellowyne and Neema and Grace, so all 3 of them can wear that shoe. It's just a cute little ankle, just above the ankle, sort of chunky booty with some belt details, and this comes in 2 colors. We'll have something that's a little bit more like a cocoa color as well. This is sort of like a light camel, just a classic sort of warm-toned golden, you know, flesh nude color. And it's just one way to sort of beef up some pre-existing pieces you have without trying to exert too much energy or what have you. It's a very easy sort of solution. On Neema here, we, again, a bunch of pre-existing pieces over the last 12-ish months, but we have a new, not quite knee-high, sort of Chuck Taylor style shoe. It's fun that it's got a heel, right? So Chuck Taylors normally maybe wouldn't have a heel, but I like what this does for the silhouette and for the vibe. This feels very sort of Bratz rock angel real big throwback to like Y2K something, but it's very fun, it's playful, and this is territory that is something not necessarily foreign for Tonner dolls, but it's something that we haven't really delved into for a long time. So doing something a little bit more youthful and edgy and sort of dark and sort of gothy, sort of edgy, a little punky is just like a fun, you know, direction I think for her. On Ellowyne, again, a bunch of pre-existing pieces. This features a headband that we have in 2 colors. This is a navy headband with some white polka dots. It is fitted for Ellowyne's big old one of a head, but there is another example that I've shown on Grace to sort of show you maybe ways that it would sit on her head, and if you have, you know, like enough hair or whatever, we can go back and show you that in a minute. But on Ellowyne, we've got the headband, and then we also have these new shoes. These are a nice sort of chocolatey brown T-strap with a bow on the toe. Very cute, very versatile. I'm always talking about how much brown I wish we had, and we're slowly starting to incorporate some brown into these wardrobes for them. So you've got a classic sort of buckle on the side, soft leather, just a really easy, breezy little shoe. And if you have any other accents in previous wardrobe pieces with that sort of chocolatey brown, whether that's leather or not, I think is a great way to sort of elevate that outfit. So on Neema here, I've got sort of a silly outfit, but it's one of my favorites. This is actually just the petticoat, the crinoline from the Blue Bride Tonner outfit that was released a while back, and we had a couple sitting around. I just thought it would be a really fun way to create a sort of dress silhouette. Being that it's fitted for Grace's body, it actually makes a pretty decent dress for an Ellowyne body. This is from the January box for Grace. We had some coats that were add-ons. This is that sort of bright orange version. The belt from that jacket anyway, just sort of cinched at the waist. These earrings are new. These are a beautiful sort of long cascading waterfall of pearls. They're so pretty, and they really hang at such a nice length to accentuate the neck and give you something really sophisticated and very pretty. A great way to show off this new wig. We've got this in 1 color now, but there may be more coming, so stay tuned.
And there are.
They're very pretty, and this is one of my favorites of the entire lineup, I think. It's just such a beautiful length on Ellowyne. It really, really is very flattering, and it's also not so big that it feels comical. The finger waves are a really nice scale, and the color blend is beautiful. So if you're looking for some classic old Hollywood glamour, this is a great way to go about it. And we're also featuring a Grace shoe on Neema here, so not fitted for her foot, but in a pinch it would work, and it's such a cute shoe. I really love these. We found these a while back, and I want them in just about every color. Great little die cut details, and again, a T-strap with some glitter. It's just very pretty. Silver is a great way to accentuate silver jewelry, but also you can pair it with anything white because silver sort of translates as white. It's a fun way to play with it. And again, these are for Grace, so anything that we've released for Grace over the last even couple of months that would have silver or white or gold would be a great complement for that. So this is another sort of example of some pre-existing pieces. All of these will be, but I think this is a jacket I reach for all the time. I love this color, and I love how it layers. Paired with almost like a pale mint, I think is very pretty. And so we've got a headscarf as a new piece for the collection, sort of calling back to a similar shade in the sweater. I've got a red example here too. We have this in many, many colors, so you'll see some others displayed, but I think as I say a lot, don't be afraid of using your makeup or your, face paint or hair or eye color even as your anchoring color for accessories. This would be another alternative to wear maybe in place of the mint. If you wanted to have just one pop of color rather than this being the callback, you could use the lip. And then we also have a really pretty shoe. This is sort of in lieu of all of the things we've released for Ellowyne over the last season of the subscription. A similar silhouette. You had an ankle strap with some really beautiful sort of scalloped edge detailing around the foot. It's very pretty, sort of a muted lemon. It's not especially bright, but it is a true yellow, just a very sort of like crayon yellow, primary yellow, very pretty. And it's not really a specific, match with the jacket, that leather jacket, but they do, I think, complement each other nicely. And with an all black leg, just a little ankle detail, I think, is a very sort of striking and impactful detail without being, I don't think, distracting. Just a fun sort of way to play with color. I always would advocate on behalf of exploring playing with color. If it feels, scary or feel fearful to you, just go for it. it's very inconsequential, you know. You can always take these pieces off too and try again. God knows I do all day long.
This one is one of my 3 favorites.
Oh, thanks. I think it's probably in my top 3 too. This feels very chic to me. If I'm not arrogant saying it, I think it's very high fashion. I think it's very pretty. This is a existing toner dress that I've actually sort of folded in on itself. There would normally be a one shoulder sort of strap and a torso that's just tucked under the waistline, and then that waistband is snapped together over the bust. And I think it is such a beautiful balloon of fur and feathers and texture. And the color on it is so pretty. And I was just sort of inspired by the color. So we have a lot of this sort of pink in the collection. This hat is very similar to what we've released for Weekend Market. It's got a beautiful black detail bow and satin rim at the sort of base of the hat. And it also features a cute little headscarf we have here in a similar shade of sort of a pale, warm, powdery, peachy pink. And I also really enjoy the way that with an updo, this hat sort of almost floats on top of her head. It reminds me very much of, it feels pretentious, but maybe Philip Tracy and Isabella Blow sort of inspired moment. And I think it's very pretty. I think a headscarf with a hat is such a knockout. Using black details in the gloves, and then I also reached for some fur toe, open toe mules from Ellowyne's January box, her satin robe. These are bedroom slippers, but you know what? Dolls are for fun. So if you can't do what you want to here, where can you? Wear your bedroom slippers wherever you want to, just not Walmart. This little black dress number.
I love this one.
Oh, thanks. It's very sort of outdoor summery, you know, out on the town, getting a cup of gelato and, you know, sitting by a fountain and watching people walk by. This features a black straw hat, says Dreamy Days, sort of embroidered here on the side. We have several variations with different things that are embroidered, so you can sort of shop those. We'll talk about those here. And playing with lots of accents of black and white together. This is a dress actually for Grace. This was Grace's January box. I've just put a belt on the waist just to give it a little bit more shape because it is fitted for a different body. But this gives it a little bit more tailoring, and I love that bow accent on the back. In a perfect world, I actually would have really liked to complement this with a black shoe, and it just didn't have quite what I was looking for, but we have so many you can use, both in what Tonner has released and both in what we have released. There are black, there are white, there are black and white. You can really go any way you want to. I just wanted something that felt small in size and sleek in silhouette, and so I think this gives me sort of what I'm looking for. I've just taken the ankle strap off of that Tonner shoe. It's just a factory Tonner shoe that the strap comes out. I just decided that I thought that little sort of open toe was a nice little sandal. But she's very pretty, and classically I love black and white together. Again, you can just sort of use your polish or your makeup as an accessory. And then of course we have a new wig. This is the Marlowe Flip in the red color. We have this in a beautiful like icy platinum and a deep dark like cocoa brunette that we'll show you in a minute. But yeah, just very simple and classic. This is very outside and summery to me. So sundress I think is a natural pairing with this. We have so many sundresses that you can reach for, and I think this is one of several options. Okay, this is a little bit of a goofy one, but I love goofy, so enjoy. This is our Amazing Grace 2 from the most recent release with that beautiful red auburn hair, wearing the violin concert subscription box from a little over a season ago, and I think this feels very fun, like an outside tea party, like a little garden soiree, something that's outside that's a little bit fancy but a little bit campy. It sort of touches on several of my favorite stylistic themes. We've got a couple hats for the Mix and Match collection for Grace in this sort of very, very cute grandma chic sort of playful hat. This is a great companion piece for backyard fun. If you were on a subscription for that box, it feels like a really natural accessory for something like overalls to me. But it's also such a fun outside sort of tea hat hat to wear, you know, with feathers and plumes and things, all these flowers, and sort of calling back to some of the colors in the dress. I used our elbow length long white opera glove and a mix and match bow that we will be putting in the sale as well in sort of an olive color. We've got about 5 shades of these. These are very similar to some of the ones that Ellowyne has had over the season. So if you're looking for new colors, we have some, and they're great companion pieces for something like this. So here's another variation of that black straw hat. This says Wild Child, spelled wild like Ellowyne, wild. And I think it's so charming. Just a very cute black straw hat, white ribbon, one of my favorite color combinations. And the previous example showed you with something that was very monochromatic and sort of intuitive and very simple. Black and white, I think, are a great foundation for playing with just about any other color you can, you know, throw in. So chartreuse and mint and cobalt and periwinkle and all these great fabulous colors that are in the skirt, you can sort of throw at the wall just to see what sticks. And I think with this as your base, you can't really go wrong. This was a gift with purchase bow that we were giving out for this most recent box for Grace. The Shamrock Shimmer got those just as sort of a thank you present in your subscriptions. So I sort of tacked that on at the waist. We've got just a purse that I found lying around here and a new tight. This is a sort of a plaid pattern of tight. This is the same thing, the very first example that we showed you on Grace. This is the white version, and just a classic tight that fits both Ellowyne and Grace bodies very nicely. And then just a little black shoe, a Tonner factory black shoe that I think gives, again, a little nice accent with a ankle strap and sort of ties back into the rest of the colors. It's just very playful. It feels very ready for springtime and vibrant without being overly saturated. At least I don't think so. Maybe that sounds crazy with a color like this, but I don't think it's like reaching. I don't think it's aggressive. And perhaps that's in part due to sort of diluting the severity of that with something like black or white. So coming up on one of my very favorites, this is just a very fun, silly one, and I love fun and silly, you know. I like pairing primary colors together and sort of manipulating, you know, the way those look together. This is actually the Hot Hostess dress underneath the Helen Kish holiday skirt. I've got lots of elements going on here. Sort of a nice deep aqua turquoise bow on the waistband again. And then this woven hat says Lost in Thought. I know that's upside down for you, but really, really cute. Just the embroidery on these is very sweet. And showing off another new accessory are these beautiful olive shoes. Again, same as the yellow example that we showed you on Ellowyne earlier. This is just another shade of them, and I think they're so pretty. Olive green is one of my favorite colors, and I love the contrast that that creates with these colors, and sort of, again, using the makeup or the face paint or the manicure or whatever as a way to sort of accessorize. Neema's eyes almost have like a hazel green quality, so if you're looking really closely, I think that's a great compliment to the shoe. And then the lip color, I think, is such a great compliment for the skirt. And then, you know, as Neema would be flouncing through some field of flowers, picking some up on her way. Just a really fun way to play with this. And then this new wig is Gigi, and this is a beautiful sort of full bouffant wig with some beautiful curtain bangs and some nice cascading curls around the shoulders. We have some other examples of this that I'll show you as well, but I think pigtails on that is just the perfect cherry on top.
Okay, Christopher, this one is my favorite.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is my favorite.
That's unexpected. This one's very, so surprising nobody. Again, if you have paid any attention to the channel for any length of time, I am a very out and proud Lady Gaga fan, and Gaga really was a pivotal, very sort of influential force in my life from a very young age. And Bad Romance properly changed the trajectory of my life. Like, there was no going back after watching Bad Romance for the first time. And we had a bunch of white pieces that I thought felt so obvious as, you know, an intuitive direction to go when we brought out these shoes. So the shoes are a lot. If you want like just a statement piece, they are a perfect route to take for just a simple statement piece. But more is more. And I think this is a little bit like if Sia did Bad Romance. Tragically, I didn't have like a latex, you know, ragged crown to put over her head. I'll be sure to get on that really soon. But this is a very, very fun sort of love letter to Bad Romance and all of the influence that had on me. Just a sort of indulgent little project, just for me. But this is that beautiful platinum Marlowe flip, and it features a new headscarf that we have in that I've actually worn backward. So you can see here, this is the base of the headband, and then the sort of tails of it begin here, and I've sort of tied it underneath the wig and then around over the bangs. Just stuck a little brooch in the top because why not? And then she's got about 600 necklaces on, the right amount as far as I'm concerned, and a little, you know, lace leotard and a belt, and all the rest of these pieces we've already sort of had for a while. But the show-stopping new component are the shoes, and it's just it's very ridiculous. It feels like very, you know, early 2000s pop divas of you know, pop culture, but especially my favorite. So
and they have red soles.
Oh yeah, like Louboutins.
And they fit Grace.
Yes, they do.
So they are interchangeable.
They are.
I love them.
They're very pretty. And if you want a statement shoe, they're not messing around. They got red bottoms and 3 buckles that you don't actually need to touch. I will say, although they zip in the back, they still need a lacing on the front, and they lace beautifully. Be patient, as you know, those threads are small and whatever, but just a really very fun, playful, sort of ridiculous ensemble. So this is a sort of fun callback to Halloween. This was a shift dress that we had as a bonus box for the month of October, and I just think that it's such a great pairing with the color brown. I really love chocolatey rich shades of cocoa, and I wanted to sort of play with this shoe that, again, we've got sort of a similar color to the all brown T-strap version, but this is the same pattern as the other shoes we've been showing you in just a slightly different brown. Very pretty. Perhaps you've noticed our little VDC purse. These will be coming soon. So a little teaser for you, but again, great color pairing with that. I love the silhouette of a shift dress with a nice tall sock. I think that's very, very fun, very 60s, very mod, and so naturally we have to pair the 60s mod wig with it. This features the sort of mustard leotard and then a new sort of scarf with the tails. This is sort of a nice bright marigold. It's a really pretty, very bright, reflective color. It just catches light very nicely. And again, it's obviously one of my favorites because we've used it so many times, but now you have a lot of it and you can sort of call back to that color with something like this, and just a new accessory to pair onto that wardrobe. Very fun. It's just sort of easy. Like, again, this maybe feels more highly styled than it actually is, but it's just layers and then, you know, callback colors. It's a lot of fun, and I think this sort of 70s palette in a 60s silhouette is very pretty, and it's beautiful on Neema, so I had to indulge. But yeah, the only, again, I tried to keep 1 or 2 new pieces from each outfit, and that's what those are going to look like. And you can sort of play with this any direction, right? Like if you wanted to have the only color on this really be brown, you could do this in all black. I think the color combination of black and brown is so beautiful. I wear a black jean with a brown belt all the time, and I think you could have a whole like black leotard, black jumpsuit, you know, whatever, with just like brown accessories. I think would be so pretty. And then here in the front we have Grace, again playing with something a little bit more like Easter bonnet, grandma chic, very sort of light and springy and playful. She is wearing, one of my favorite tricks is a dress underneath a skirt. They're both mix and match pieces from yesteryear. And then we've got that beautiful belt in the middle, that artisanal doll brand. Who, remind me their names?
Oh, Kitten Cat.
Kitten Cat. Hi, if you're watching. For the record, I love this belt and I use it all the time. So if you're looking for beautiful accessories, you can visit Kitten Cat's website for some great pieces to shop. I continue to do so, and something like this is such a great accessory. This woven hat is in sort of a very pale powdery pink. It almost looks like a cream color, and it's just on the cusp of that. It's just right between like peach and like a powdery cream color. Very, very pretty. All 4 variations have the same garnish on top with that sort of flower decal, but they really pair nicely with the color story of something like this. And then I thought, what fun to sort of lean into kitschy garden party territory and the sort of bougie element of a Louis bag and a matching shoe. So these are a new Grace piece as well, a beautiful little Mary Jane style with a nice long spike. They're a perfect companion piece for something like this. They're just beautiful. And then I've shown them off on a, again, olive green tight, just a really fun way to play with that color. There's a little bit of green in the outfit, and I thought that would be sort of a very fun combination for sort of eggplant and green, and then, you know, something sort of whimsical. It's springtime now, you know, you can really lean into color in a way that feels maybe more permissible than it was even just a week ago. This is, again, very fun, very light and easy, like she's just waiting on the pier to take off on a ship to go travel the world. She's got a really nice little ensemble on it. The new piece here is the hat, and it says Ellowyne in the embroidery there. This is just a nice sort of organic raw straw color with a black accent, and I wanted to play with that sort of palette with the dress. This is not like a true white halter top dress, it's more of a cream color, and I think it's really pretty with the sort of straw in the hat. It's just cute. Tiny little pin dots all over, and then the Gucci bag, of course, is just such a nice touch to bring with her. I didn't really want a distracting shoe, so I just put on a clear acrylic little classic nude spike, but I feel like she's like wistfully looking out over the water, excited to go, you know, somewhere new. She's all packed and ready to go. This one is very silly and fun in that this reminds me, as I was sort of playing with combinations and ideas and trying to make a theme of what we ended up with, you know, in this sort of lot, I was thinking like, well, some of these outfits are very, you know, night on the town, very sort of like fun, vibrant, loud, adventurous sort of evening ensembles, and then some of them are a little bit more demure or maybe even mundane, sort of, you know, morning after. And I was like, what if we did like a playful idea on like Saturday night outfits and then Sunday morning outfits? And so this is a little bit Sunday morning to me. She's gonna go enjoy her very wholesome, very sort of conservative Sunday morning, and she's got a blue hat, so we can sort of show you that this is the straw with the same accents in a sort of nice, not quite navy, but really pretty deep blue, and sort of pairing back that color with the shoe. These came with the very first Grace, I believe, and I still love them. I use them all the time. They're such a great color. This is the dress from Weekend Market for Ellowyne and Neema, and I was absolutely shocked when I went to go put it on and it fit Grace. So it's a very fitted, tailored dress that just happens to be stretchy and accommodating. So if you have the Ellowyne subscription and you have Grace dolls and you've not already tried to put this dress on her, surprise, it works. I just wanted to have a little peek of that green. I didn't want like the whole thing with the fuchsia and I just wanted a little bit of gingham, and so I covered up the top of that with a sweater from holiday, two holidays ago? Oh my gosh, that's wild. And then a little fur coat, a little peachy purse. The standout element here is the hat, but I want to show you ways to make a very simple, very sort of classic outfit that doesn't feel maybe like some goofy creative director of a doll shop threw together. Like, you can wear something a little bit more almost maternal. It's very sort of dialed back and still playful with all of those flowers in the hat. Well, if there's ever been like a basic white girl, very pumpkin spice latte is what this is sort of translating as to me. Again, the new elements here are the accessories. So you've got a really cute sort of plaid headband with a bow there, something that's smaller in scale than the others. So it's really a very nice, simple, sweet accessory. It's just not very overbearing or commanding. It's a little bit more understated. And then you've got that other color variation of the shoe. This is that sort of light cocoa. Like, this to me looks like the hot cocoa powder before you mix it into milk or water. It's a very sweet sort of just confectionery color. And on some skinny jeans and an oversized sweater, she's ready to go complain to some manager that's had better things to do with their day. Just a very sort of very intuitive, very sort of easy outfit. These accessories are great for creating something that feels like she's going to run errands, right? Something very intuitive, just very daily, very civilian, very normie. Not everything needs to be like, I don't know, I wouldn't condone this perspective, but that not everything needs to be, you know, a fashion show or whatever. Clothes were made for wearing. I'm trying to have more fun. But if you want something simple, this is a very great way to do that. This one again is a little bit on the goofy side, but it feels very Ellowyne to me. This features a new visor that we're putting out, covered in pearls. This is such a pretty, very sort of silly, frivolous thing to sort of top off your outfit with. It ties under the head on the back, and then you've got just straw showered with pearls. So pretty. This lends itself to playing with black and neutrals and white so easily. And if you have any other colors, like maybe mauve or, you know, sage, you can sort of pair them together. And what I was trying to do here was play with the colors in Ellowyne's paint. So her iris is sort of like a pale sage, and I think that's such a nice touch, you know, with the flowers and the skirt and whatever. This also features a new tight. So you've got a really fun sort of horizontal stripe in black. And again, these I believe fit Ellowyne and Grace, but these are really fitted. Although they are stretchy, they're more fitted for Ellowyne. And then the October box add-on shoe we got here, and a little Hermes, you know, rubber purse just cuz. I think the sort of gold accents are a nice complement with the neutral in the hat. And then I sort of just tacked this on here as another alternative. Maybe in place of the visor, you could use a black satin scarf with tails instead and have that be a little bit smaller in scale. This wig is so huge that it doesn't necessarily need something that makes it feel bigger, but this is maybe what it looks like if you do, and then you have alternatives. And actually, I forgot, the base layer is a mix and match dress. Yeah. Just a class. I mean, again, I like to wear skirts over dresses all the time. It's a fun way to make a dress look like a blouse instead. Just very sort of melancholy and maybe a more like muted approach to the turn of springtime, which is very in Ellowyne's brand. This one I don't think is especially like revolutionary, but it is fun. This is the, gosh, this used to be,
Mayflowers.
It is Mayflowers. We had a previous name for this that came to mind first, but this is just a very, like, as it is, worn the way it's intended, dress for grace, and the compliments here are a beautiful new shoe in a really gorgeous, shiny, patent leather yellow. Very citrine, very, like, true lemon yellow, very, very, very pretty. T-strap with a buckle, and I love the bow on the toe. And then I wanted to incorporate just a little bit more of that color in the outfit. So this is the brown straw hat that I've got with a little sort of marigold bow sort of tacked in with the flowers. This is not, like, you know, very inventive, but it is a fun way to play with sort of those bright pops of color in the fabric in a more sort of simple and whimsical way. These are really lovely shoes. I would imagine these are also a really great piece for Ellowyne. Although they won't fit her in a fitted way, you could probably still weasel her foot in there. This one I think is very fun. This is sort of more youthful, more contemporary, playing with the ideas of street fashion and the silhouettes that sort of evokes, something that's happening very trendy, very sort of young and on the streets. I like a really huge oversized silhouette with sort of a teeny tiny, you know, a top heavy ensemble. I didn't want a lot of this layer, so I grabbed a mini skirt. It's the same sort of mod mini dress that we were showing you before, the black one. This is the sort of green pattern with a neutral big huge sweater, more of these cascading earrings, and then the tie on the head is actually the belt or the waist tie from the denim dress that we have, and I thought that was such a nice accessory to pair with the boots. These are a beautiful new knee-high denim boot that fit Grace and Ellowyne, and it's got a really fun little detail of silver both in the heel and on the toe. Sort of futuristic, sort of contemporary without being distracting. It's just a very sort of sleek, fun way to play with that accent, and I think she looks like she's on her way to find the newest, hottest coffee shop in town to go by herself and like not talk to anybody. She's going to be mysterious. It's very fun. I like this one. And this is one of my favorites that we have. This doll is so beyond. The hair is rooted, you guys. If you've missed it somehow up to this point, this afro is the way that she comes. I am obsessed.
We have more coming.
So stay tuned, more rooted afro Neemas are coming. This is, again, simple, sort of straightforward. I just have the brown leotard, some brown tights, something that gives almost a nude illusion to Neema, just very sleek and very not distracting. I wanted this to be all about the accessories, and the hair included, really. So you've got just a nice big gold hoop earring, gold belt, and then really using the sort of weight and momentum of these shoes to carry the outfit. These are a nice sort of pale, maybe a cooler toned camel rather than something more golden. These are maybe more taupe in color. Very pretty. Again, they zip in the back, but for sure you need to lace them in the front. You've got the red bottoms. They're very pretty. A wonderful statement shoe. And again, this also fits Grace and Ellowyne. So you can wear them for either doll. This is so pretty. She looks like she's going to be like a backup singer on some live performance, or maybe like a dancer in a music video. Just very, very pretty. And in its simplicity, I think it's commanding. It doesn't need to be convoluted and bonkers to be really sort of captivating visually. I think playing with silhouette is a great way to do that. And if you've got, you know, big, small, big, I think that works. So, again, sort of another example of that boot. This is Grace number 1 of the basics, wearing something a little bit scandalous, something a little bit sensual. This was, again, the add-on jacket for January for Grace, in sort of a really beautiful bright mustard color. And I wanted something that felt sort of geometric, something that was just sort of boxy. And I like the color combination of yellow and blue, and orange and blue are sort of opposites in some way on the color wheel. And so I thought playing with that color scheme would be really pretty. This really pale denim is a great companion piece. Although it's not specifically in the rest of the outfit, I think this is a complementary color with the tight, and it just feels like a really nice accent shade of blue. Again, silver heel, silver toe, and these fit Ellowyne and Grace. She's wearing just the blazer, there's nothing underneath this, and I sort of cinched that together with an orange mix and match bow. And then we have a new hat. This straw hat has a really cute little accent in the back there with a ribbon and some blue and sort of buttercream straw. It's a very fun sort of, again, this is Sunday morning, but like on a runway, you know. I love the illusion of a jacket or a cardigan or whatever without something underneath it. I think it's very sexy without being like scandalous, and I think it's sophisticated, and I think it's flattering and pretty, and I know that maybe that's a little on the edgy side, but I just enjoy that silhouette very much. And then last but not least, to me it's a little bit of like a bar wench, but I love the silhouette of this. I wanted to play again with color and ways to show you how to wear accessories that are maybe not for Grace overtly. Starting with this shoe, I love this shoe. This is a very pretty, part Louis, part just white leather, great pointed toe, bulky heel, just very commanding, sort of businesswoman shoe. I think it's very pretty, and I think that paired with the sort of small town feel that maybe some of the rest of this has, very sort of beachside, you know, what is she? Maybe this time even I don't know. She's a fun one. This, like I said, this is a headband for Ellowyne. I think it works with Grace if you have either a big wig, something that has a lot of volume, something that's just sort of floofy, truly. The Grace number 2, Amazing Grace Basic 2 of this line, the fibers are just a little bit maybe fuller or fluffier than the brunette or the blonde. It's the exact same amount of hair, it's the exact same haircut and whatever, but I think this has a little bit more of a balloon effect on the head, and so with that in mind, this doesn't necessarily look oversized or out of place if the hair is filling the space. Otherwise, it's going to look nuts. There's going to be like just a bunch of nothing underneath that headband. So make sure that you're wearing something that's a little bit fuller if you are going to wear that for Grace. This was a November box surprise dress that we had. Again, it's just a dress under a skirt. And then we have that Ralph Lauren plaid that I love so much. And this is the belt from the one that the other Grace is not wearing, that sort of bright yellow mustard, just to bring a little extra element of fun, color, and brightness into this. And I think red is such a great pairing when you've got something like that on the mouth. And the purple irises are a great accessory. So lots of colors here, but again, I don't think this is aggressive necessarily, particularly when your anchoring color is sort of neutral. So I hope that this launches you into spring in a way that feels fun and bright and exciting, but also not intimidating. I think the elements of this collection are, first of all, overdue. I'm so glad to have accessories. I say it all the time that like my favorite part of getting myself dressed or any of the girls or whatever is like I love to create what feels like my own creation ensemble, whatever, through accessories. And I think there's such a great way to achieve that sensation and to explore something new and to try something that maybe scares you or feels different or whatever without taking a leap into something huge or expensive or, you know, some sort of crazy investment. The addition of accessories are such a great way to play with that. So if you've somehow stomached my voice this entire video, then thank you. Thank you for joining us on this. We'll be excited to see you at the sale. I can't wait to see what combinations you throw together, because there are lots of ways to sort of mix and match these pieces with themselves and bring out some old dusty pieces from your closet that are waiting to be spruced up with something new. This was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you throw together. So thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you so much, Christopher. That was loads of fun. He was worried about his voice, but you know what? He showed up and he did his job, and he did a wonderful job. So I am very, very grateful. And the show goes on around here. And as Christopher has been in a lot of shows in his life with his show business, he knows. So thank you, Christopher, for rising to the occasion and doing this. So there is something that's been on my heart a little bit that I just wanted to chat with you for a moment about, and that is about Grace and Ellowyne, and a lot of the comments that we see of when we post something for Ellowyne, we automatically get the comments, is that going to be for Grace? Or when we do for Grace, is that going to be for Ellowyne? And a lot of the times it is really nice because the certain outfits and certain shoes and accessories are interchangeable. But what I want to share and make sure that you know is they are not made and meant to really be interchangeable. When they are, it's nice, and it's a nice thing because a lot of us own both dolls, but both dolls have very distinct personalities, and they come from two totally different worlds. And we are working really hard to build little communities around that world that doll is coming from. And also, we work with multiple factories, and sometimes it takes us an entire year from concept to when we get something, sometimes depending on the factory and their workers and the materials available and how long the sampling takes and all those things, sometimes we can get something in 2 or 3 months. But those timelines are all working in tandem with each other. So if we have a release that might feel a little Ellowyne heavy or Grace heavy or whatever, the dolls are not in competition. I spend so much time working on and creating and brainstorming with my entire team, all of us, for both worlds. And both worlds are so incredibly important to us. So when you see something and we made it for one doll, sometimes we can make it, it'll fit, but we're not trying to create the same world for both. And maybe I didn't even need to say that, but it has been weighing on my heart a little bit. And you know that I stay transparent and I always like to share what's going on. So when I get comments sometimes that say, this subscription is surpassing, or this one, or this, and it's almost like they're in competition. Like I said, they're not in competition. They're so different and they're so wonderful, and both of them mean so much to us. And when I say both, it's not going to be both forever, because we're hoping to have even more. We have a little girl doll coming to Virtual Doll Convention this year. We have so many things in the works that are so very exciting for you, for us, for the doll collecting community, for the artists and the people that are involved with them. So my goal for all of us is to enjoy, to evolve, and to keep sharing and loving dolls. So please give us a little bit of grace when you see something for Ellowyne and you wish it was for Grace or whatever, and the other way around, and for all the dolls. And just know that they are all very close to our hearts, and we're trying very, very, very hard for you. And we hope you love everything. And if you don't love everything, thanks for watching anyway. All right. Thank you for listening. Bye.